Well, we found the problem. It's on my end. I have about 20 slides here you're looking at, and I had 10 seconds of each slide with rock and roll music from the past. And normally YouTube tells me you have copyright music, therefore we're going to put ads in your video, which is fine with me. But not this time. They shut it off for anyone to see but me, so I thought you all could see it. Well, it didn't work. YouTube computer caught me and said, nope, we're not going to let this go. So I'm redoing the opening where I had the music, and I'll redo the ending, and we'll continue on. In a few minutes, after about 6 more slides, we'll start out with the interviews. Hello, I'm Dave Quam, and we're at the La Bistro restaurant in Grand Forks, North Dakota, next to the Can-Am Hotel and Complex. And we're here for the 60th reunion, as we call it, a get-together here in Grand Forks for the class of '58. We'll try to videotape as many of our classmates as we can for those of you that did not, or should say unable to get here, so you can see who was here.
My name is George Alafuzas. I used to be called Georgicus, as the other folks might have known me. And I live in Wausau, Wisconsin with my wife Bonita. We are retired from teaching. We have been retired since 2002, I'm sorry. And it seems like since 1902. Anyway.
He hasn't had a beer yet.
No, that's the problem. Anyway,
away, aren't you?
Pardon?
You're giving something away here. What is it?
Yes, 1958 is kind of a critical year for those people that collect coins, because it was the last year of the issue of the wheat ear cent. Most people call them pennies, but collectors don't like that because that's an English term, penny. So we like to have them called cents. Anyway, the cent was born in 1909.
You can hold that up.
As a commemorative coin to celebrate the birth of Lincoln, the 100th anniversary of birth of Lincoln. And people liked it so much it was still with us today. But in 1958, they decided to change the design for the '59 issue to the Lincoln Memorial that was built in, I think, in the 20s, 25, I think it was built. Anyway, it's kind of unusual to find uncirculated coins from that time, but I was lucky enough to find a dealer who since became a friend, and I found out by talking to him on the phone that he had graduated from the University of North Dakota, the same as we did. So we kind of connected, and I bought 2 rolls of uncirculated cents from him for this occasion, and then to make sure we had enough, I bought 2 more later. He's from Savage, Minnesota, which is near the city. He's a coin dealer.
Now, how do you hand them out here?
They're all encased in these little, they're called coin holders. And whoever signs in gets one. And I have a little surprise at the end.
Don't tell you.
I can't tell you.
George, thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Linda Flom, originally Gray. I live in Grand Forks now. My family I have children in North St. Paul, Rochester, Minnesota, and Columbus, Ohio. My granddaughter is currently a graduate student in planetary science at the University of Hawaii.
She's living in Hawaii?
Yeah, she just moved.
Oh my, that's so hard.
So I think I should save my money to go for a visit.
Absolutely. After the volcano settles down.
I think the volcano settled down, but they're worried about another hurricane.
Oh, okay.
So, anything else?
No, welcome to the get-together. You were a part of putting it together.
Yep.
We didn't have to do a lot because
No.
I gotta get down. No, you stand up straight. Because that's why it's a get-together. You don't have to have money in advance, head count in advance. Whoever shows up, shows up.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the best way to do it.
Easy.
Easy. Thank you, David.
We're talking to Gary Saracen.
Gary, welcome to the get-together. Where are you living?
I'm living in St. Louis, Missouri. I left Grand Forks back in 1964. Worked for Monsanto down there. And the computer I worked on was Monsanto. Monsanto had the first IBM mainframe computer.
So you were a tech person then?
Yeah. And we ended up donating that to the Smithsonian Institute. IBM, the government got serial number 1, Monsanto got serial number 2 in 1955. I've been doing that for many, many years.
Now you drove from St. Louis to here?
Well, actually, I have a seasonal on a lake in Minnesota, and we are spending 5 months of the year, May to...
What lake?
It's called Wall Lake out of Fergus Falls, Minnesota.
I don't know.
And I have 3 children. I've got 6 grandchildren. I have 5 grandsons and 1 granddaughter, which was the last one, so she got me very well.
Welcome to the get-together.
Thank you.
I'm Diana Speedall Dries.
And where's Diane living now?
I live 5 miles out of town, out of Grand Forks.
Oh, right here?
On a farm. Yeah.
I'm thinking of 500 miles away.
No, I married a farmer.
Good for you. So you got the roots. Is there a family we don't know about yet?
We have 3 children, and then they're all married, and they've all been married for at least 30 or 25 or 26 years. So I'm really happy about that.
Yes, I can see that.
And one of them lives in Texas now. My oldest boy, Doug, and his wife, Terry, they live in Texas. The other 2 are here. Or Dean lives by Thompson.
I have to ask you a question about Grand Forks. I cannot believe how much it's growing.
Cool.
Why? What's bringing people here? Lifestyle?
It's just crazy. Did you try and drive there anyway today? It was crazy. I couldn't even get in and out of town hardly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea why people are coming here?
I have no idea. Well, weekends are really full, you know.
Okay. Did I miss anything?
Oh.
Okay. Thank you.
No, you don't.
You see all our wrinkles then?
Yeah.
See, wrinkles? No, I have to take them out here.
Oh, okay.
I charge for that.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I do
Okay.
special effects to take the
Okay.
wrinkles out.
Okay.
It's $10 though, please.
Okay.
In
Are
advance.
we going to get to see these pictures?
Yeah, it'll be on our website.
Okay.
I'll explain that later tonight for everybody.
Okay.
Well, who am I talking to tonight?
Shirley Weir Christopherson.
And Shirley, we know you're from Grand Forks, but where are you living now?
I live in East Grand Forks and Mesa, Arizona in the winter. I have 5 granddaughters, 5 great-grandchildren, 3 girls, 2 boys, and 2 great-greats, 1 of each.
Great.
Yes.
Does it make you want to walk funny when you hear that? Great.
Need a cane.
All right. Well, if the party's in your backyard,
That's right.
we'll see you a little later.
That sounds good.
Ellison. And Dick, we know you lived in Grand Forks.
I did.
There's a clue about
There's a
that.
clue.
But now you're living where?
I live in Federal Way, Washington, which is a suburb of Seattle.
Yeah, okay. So Army what?
Army Intelligence. I got right out of UND. I was commissioned as a 2nd lieutenant, and I stayed in the Army for 20 years because it was just so interesting. First job was with the CIA as an analyst, an imagery analyst for the satellites. Spent about 2.5 years at that. And then I went to Vietnam and back to various places. At the end of my career, I did another 2 years for the CIA in Detroit as a representative, a CIA rep. If you looked in the phone book and found CIA, I would answer the phone and I would come out and interview you or answer your questions. But my main job was to contact businessmen like President of Ford, the President of Chrysler, and all of those big companies said, "Hey, we would like your permission to debrief any of your employees who travel abroad for business." They always said, "Oh, help yourself, knock yourself out." They loved it. So we interviewed thousands of people, and also we greeted. My job was to greet the refugees, mostly Russians. They were they all claimed to be Jewish. None of them were. And they didn't know what they didn't know a Torah from a Bible. But anyway, they were out. They were just claimed to be Jews to get out of it.
So now when you finished in Detroit, then you went back to the Army operations?
No, and now I retired from that.
Oh, okay.
I retired from the Army then.
Then you worked in the CIA, and your time was up. You shut down. And
Yeah, but in between, I did a couple tours in the combat zones. Vietnam was horribly interesting. I would never want to do that again. And then I went to Laos as an advisor, and that was horribly dangerous. I got shot at more in Laos than anywhere else.
Does the name Ted Shackney mean anything to you?
Yeah, I know about him,
Okay.
but I don't think I ever met him.
He was a friend of mine.
Yeah, I don't think I ever met him.
Okay.
But I did waltz around all around Laos and those crazy places that they kept for surveillance, and Shackley was involved with those. And I got to fly around in their airplanes.
Air America?
No, these were more company-oriented. One of them was a Pilatus airplane.
Pilatus, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Pilatus Quarter or something like that?
Yeah, that's right. And it was designed to take off and land on nothing. And they demonstrated that for me several times. It scared the crap out of me.
Did you ever hear about Lima Site 85?
Yes, I visited that.
Oh, you did?
I didn't visit it. I flew around it a couple times.
Oh, that's okay.
And I took fire from there. The guys in the bad guys halfway down the mountain took pot shots at me.
And the bad guys were still there as well.
Oh yeah, they always hanging around. They wanted to knock the top of that off.
Well, how long has it had it been since the mountaintop was overrun?
Oh, that I don't remember.
Okay.
I didn't overrun it, so I wasn't involved. Anyway.
Sounds like we have a separate story to talk about Sunlight.
Someday soon. Yeah.
Anything else I missed, Richard?
No, then retired from the Army. I moved out to Seattle, bought a business there, and then later I took up the insurance business. I was involved. I signed on with Allstate Insurance, and eventually owned a rather large agency. Ran that for close to 20 years, and sold it for a fortune, I might add, and I'm very happy. Yes,
that's what business is about.
Yeah, that's right. And so that's my story. I've got four boys, all prospering in some way. My wife is prospering as an educator. She has a PhD in early childhood ed.
Question: How often do you get back to Grand Forks?
Every 10 years when you have a reunion.
Okay.
I have relatives here. I have a cousin here, and that's about it. So there's not a lot of impetus here.
Richard, thank you.
My pleasure.
I'm Jack Muse.
Well, Jack, we know you're from Grand Forks. You plan to stay here all the time? You're going to move someplace?
No, we'll stay here. I'm still working.
I heard that.
And
You're a dermatologist, is that correct?
pardon?
Dermatologist?
Yes.
And then an avid golfer, I understand.
Well, yeah, I like it, but I don't play. When you're still working, you don't play as much and everything. We have a lake cottage. We play out there once in a while.
Whereabouts is the lake cottage?
It's a Grace Lake.
Yes, I know it.
Yeah.
That's right. I did know about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any? How many kids have you got? Or
We have 4 children. My wife and I have met in her senior year of high school. Her name is Joey Bethke.
I remember that.
And we have 3 of our kids live in Grand Forks. 1 lives in Moorhead. 2 of them are teachers. 1 is a fundraiser. for the UND, and the fourth one is driving an oil truck out in western North Dakota.
Okay, that's unusual. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. So we were away for about 14 years, and then eventually came back in 1980. And,
Where'd you go for 14 years?
well, I was in the service for, and I finished up the last 2 years of medical school at Wake Forest Medical School in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Interned at Denver General Hospital, and then it was during Vietnam, and so I applied for the U.S. Public Health Service, and they had first choice, so I went to Belcourt, North Dakota for 2 years on an Indian reservation, and then 8 years as a family doctor in Staples, Minnesota, and then 3 years at the University of Indiana Medical School studying dermatology. And
Wasn't your father a dermatologist?
no, he was a family doctor for well over 50 years in Grand Forks. So I don't know. We've had an interesting time.
Well, okay. Now, which branch of service were you in again?
It was the U.S. Public Health Service.
Public Health Service. Okay. I keep thinking Army, Air Force, Navy.
Yeah.
That's a whole different.
Well, I managed to get the GI Bill for 2 years because of it, so that helped get us through dermatology school.
Jack, thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay. Good to see you.
Good to see you, David.
Bye-bye. Sure.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Hankerson Beam, and I live in Chanhassen, Minnesota. I'm still working. I work 5 days a week, 5 hours a day, and I really like it. I don't think I'll ever quit. I have 2 sons, one of whom lives in the Washington, D.C. area, in Fairfax, Virginia, and the other one lives close to me in St. Bonifacius, Minnesota. He and his wife adopted 2 little girls about 5 years ago.
A little closer.
So I have 2 granddaughters, and we have a lot of fun going to their soccer games, and their concerts, and everything else.
Okay. That's terrific. Thank you for taking the time, Marilyn.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I don't know what the deal is here.
She just became a grandma. Her son had a baby.
Her people, right?
Here he is. All right. Ta-da! Here we are.
Well, wait a minute.
Yes.
Cheese.
Cheese.
I know he's going to get you.
Yes.
This is for those that can't be here, so we can see those numbers. And if you have problems,
The neighbor, right? You could have cashed in. Called CNN. I knew that.
I have a friend whose daughter, who is not married, has a baby.
Gail Johnson had me on his draft notice. The sheriff came.
do you want to talk on camera?
Whiskey.
Hi, everybody. It's good to be here. It's good to be seen.
Well, first of all,
The first cousins are getting caught up on things here. So,
who are we talking to, first of all?
Jan or Punky Beaton. Punky Beaton. Punky Beaton Tellefson.
Where is Punky living now?
East Grand Forks.
Oh, in the backyard.
Yep. And we have a lake cabin yet by Detroit Lakes.
We didn't know it.
And we go south in the winter.
Where to?
Patchy Junction.
Okay, I'm down in Tucson.
Oh, are you? Okay.
What do you think about, come summertime? Somebody suggested that once a month we get together back here for those that are in the area. If you can make it, fine. If you can't,
Yeah, that would work.
once a month.
We're gone a lot. We have street rods, we have cars that we travel, and yeah, we just got back from a scooter meet, so we still a scooter, doodlebug scooters. Do you remember what a doodlebug is?
Yes, I do.
Well, we'll have one at the Rydell Car Show tomorrow.
Well, I can't be here.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks, Punky.
Why that is.
We'll deal with it.
Hello there. I'm talking to my cousin.
We get together about once every 5 or 10 years. You're almost that bad.
Okay. We see each other in Arizona once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
We both travel south in the winter, give up for the summertime.
I happen to like the snow. I'm the only one.
You're one of the few that like the snow.
Yeah,
I don't. I get out of here in October. I don't come back until May, and sometimes I think that's too soon. I think guys should still wait until almost June the 1st. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope you people are glad to see me on your camera.
Send money.
Send money. No, I'm okay. We can't do that. I can always go on the street and panhandle.
You sent me a list of people no longer with us. How many more on that list?
Well, there's about 8 more.
8 more?
Yeah, Roxanne Hamburg and David Hendrickson and Gary Platson and
John Osby?
yes, John too. And I'll get you the list. It's sad. You know, we decided, I was talking to one of my friends that went to St. James, and we all decided it's a day at a time. We're at a point where it's a day at a time, so live it up.
Now, Elizabeth, I forgot your last name.
McWilliams, Braxton, yeah.
Okay, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, and thank you for all you do.
And I said to Dave, that's way too early. And we looked it up and
They toured the country
I'm Jim Newland, and I presently live in Omaha, Nebraska. I spent most of my life there since we left Grand Forks. Graduated from high school, went to the university, and took pre-med, and then went to first 2 years of medical school. And while at the university, I met my wife, Myrna Anderson. I didn't realize it the first time I saw her, but there was the rest of my life in front of me. And we got married in 1962, late 1962. She took training finally as a anesthesiologist in pediatric anesthesia, open heart type, and I became a pathologist, some emphasis on hematology. And we go ahead.
Which university did you go to?
We went to the University of Nebraska, the medical school down in Omaha, Nebraska. And we spent, after we finished training, I spent 2 years in the U.S. Army. I was over in Korea for a year, and then came back and was in Denver for a year, and then we decided, well, let's go back to Omaha and see how it is, and we stayed there the rest of our lives. And we have 3 children, all grown. Anne, who is 50 now, and she is a physician. She's a pediatrician and internist, and she is Chief Executive Officer, I'm proud, at North Country Healthcare, or North Country Outreach in Flagstaff, Arizona. Our son Matt works in international AIDS. He got his PhD at the University of Hawaii, and he's in Washington, D.C. He's 48. And then our little girl is 48. She's 48, Jennifer, and she is an architect in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, you need a computer to keep track of that.
Well, I have to work at it. I'm doing it without notes, Dave.
Hi, I'm Gail Johnson, and I am still a Gail Johnson because I married a Johnson, and his name is Roger, but not the Roger from our class. So we just drove up from Fergus Falls. We live here in the summer, but our home is in Gilbert, Arizona. So
where's Gilbert? Reference big city.
It's in the Phoenix area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's not little anymore. When we moved there was 19,000. Now it's 250,000.
That's a hell of an increase. Where's the water coming from?
Well, I don't know. They don't advertise that they don't have it. They don't want anybody to not come there. So.
Well, I go to Tucson a little bit, 2 weeks out of the year, stay with a friend of mine.
Sure, that's just an hour or so south.
Everything in Arizona that grows has got needles on it.
Yep.
I discovered everything's got needles on it. Anyway, so now you're down there for how long in the winter?
Well, we are residents down there, and we bought down there in 2000. So since my husband retired in 2000, we've been there ever since.
Okay.
So.
And how much time do you spend here then?
We're going back down there in 3 weeks. We go to about the first part of October and stay until May.
But normally, how much time do you spend in the Grand Forks area in the summertime?
We don't come up here very often.
Oh, you don't?
No, we live in Fergus Falls,
That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
which is 2 hours south of here.
But how much time do you spend in Minnesota then in the summer?
Well, between the months of May, June, and July and August.
The full summer then.
Yep.
Because the heat in Arizona.
No.
You love it probably.
No, we don't. But when we come back here, we get cold too, because we're not used to that either.
Gail, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Larry Gilbertson from the class of 1958.
Larry, when did you leave Grand Forks?
I left Grand Forks officially 60 years ago to go to college. I came back for a year after 2 years in the Army, and then went back into the Army and have only come back for visits since that time.
How much time in the Army then?
I spent 27 years in the Army.
What area of expertise?
I was
artillery.
I was too dumb to be anything other than an infantryman. I was in the infantry for 27 years.
Gee, you're lucky to be here. With all the things going on.
Well, yes. No, it was a very, very good career. I enjoyed it, but I retired after 27 years, and then I stayed where my family was in Northern Virginia, the state of Virginia, where I still reside. I've been there now for 30 years, and so that's my home. This is my real home.
Well, yeah, that's my question. Has there ever been an impulse to come back here?
There's been some impulses to come back, but whenever your family reaches a certain age and they start getting married and then they start having kids, it pretty well keeps you in the area where they are.
You want to be there.
Yeah.
Now, when I came back in '95, I can't believe how much Grand Forks has grown.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Well, we always ask that question. Why? What makes Grand Forks grow so fast?
There's no industry. Well, there is, but not like big cities.
I was last home 3 years ago, and even in those 3 years, there are new buildings everywhere. And they must be doing something right.
Well, the main industry here is farming.
Yes.
And the land's not increasing.
So all these new buildings are taking up the land.
Well, that's good. Now, you got two brothers in town here, right?
Yes, I do.
Bob?
Ron and Daryl.
Ron and Daryl.
Yep.
You're Bob. Okay.
I have a sister in Arizona. Lives in Arizona. She comes up here every summer.
Well, I saw her and her husband in their mobile home.
Yes.
They stayed at a place called Joe's Lodge on Lake Androsia.
Yes.
And that's just down the road from me.
Right.
So
right.
Kathy,
they didn't come this summer, but they'll be coming again next summer.
Okay.
Okay. Nice talking to you.
Okay.
Well, I guess that might as well.
Okay.
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 You can see what's going on. You can see what's happening.
Okay, I can see. Okay, hi, I'm Dave Henderson. I live in Arlington, Virginia. I've been there for 44 years. Very happily retired for the past 10 years and really enjoying this get-together.
Joe, what did you do in Virginia?
I worked for the Federal Aviation Administration for over 45 years.
What part of the FAA?
When I retired, I was in charge in managing design and construction of control towers and terminal radio control facilities.
Oh my God! You're the first person I met from this class that had anything to do with the FAA. We got FBI, we got CIA, but you're the first FAA guy.
No, I started right out of college.
Okay. Do you ever think about coming back to Grand Forks?
I know right now both of our children are within 10 miles of us in the Arlington area and Fairfax area, and we have 2 grandchildren. So we're there. And my wife is from Missouri, and she has no desire to come this far north.
I think we both can understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Marion Burdick Kinsler.
Now, Mary, you never left Grand Forks, is that correct? For a while?
A while, but not too long, no. Mostly here.
I got a question. No one knows the answer. Why is Grand Forks growing so much?
Is it? The school district isn't growing.
Oh, it's not?
No, it went down.
Well, there's so much construction going on, it looks like the town has doubled in size.
I guess businesses, I don't know, UND.
Okay, all right.
Drones.
Do you have any family in the area then?
No, the closest is Moorhead. I guess that's the area.
Yeah, compared to everybody else.
Right, that's right. I have a daughter in Moorhead. Grandchildren in Rochester, Minnesota.
Okay. Now here tonight at our get-together, I didn't think we had this many people.
But guess what? A lot of that was Gary Swanson's sending out postcards. Did he tell you about that?
Yeah, but I don't know how many he sent out.
Quite a few. His wife helped him. And so he talked to a lot of local people who came that don't usually come.
Yes, I noticed that tonight. A couple of people that haven't been here before are here tonight.
So that might help us have something more often. My idea of getting together.
I did bring up the idea of having a get-together maybe once a month. What you suggested, once a month, once every 2 months?
Right, whatever works.
Okay. We'll see. We'll ask people tonight, see what their thoughts are.
And we'll come to Bemidji if you want us to. We could do one there, a few people.
Well, hold on.
No, we could.
I'm going to step in here with you. Slide over a little and slide back a little bit. No, don't leave the camera here. Grand Forks is the unique part. So coming to here to gather should be what we shoot for, not going to Bemidji or someplace else or someplace else. We do it, we come here. And this is a good spot.
Right, this is a very good spot.
I thought we're running out of room. I didn't know it could be 30 people or 50 people.
But it's great. To run out of room is good.
Have you bothered to count? Get a head count?
No, but you know what? I think George will know because of his pennies.
I have to ask him if he's counting or not. So we're talking about getting together maybe once a month here in Grand Forks. Maybe we'll pick a different restaurant each time.
Sure. When we go to one, we can talk about the next time.
Yeah, good idea. And if we do something like that, we'll make sure we put it on the website so everybody knows about it. Now I realize it's only for those of us that live within 100 miles of Grand Forks.
But there would be a way to keep in touch and find out what people know about other people.
Good suggestion. We'll let you know what happens.
Are you farming or just running? We rented out.
I didn't recognize you for a second. These guys said they just came back with veggies. She brought me in veggies.
Well, there is full employment.
No, she doesn't. And Karen and I both had a couple of years ago.
The only reason I did this was